Ever since I made this video all those months ago, placing this game in the number 2 spot behind the legendary Mario Kart Wii, I am happy to admit I have come back to this game more than a few times. And since I'm kind of on that Sonic grind right now, let's keep the ship sailing, whilst adding my love for kart races into the mix as well. Today, we're going to be showcasing just how brilliant this game's racetracks are, as we rank the 5 cups in this game. Starting off at number 5, we have the Retro Cup. I mean, this just seems a bit too easy. So this is actually the last cup in the game, and it's more meant to be a reward for completing the previous 4 cups, because this is pretty much just all tracks from the first All-Stars racing game, which, yeah, that's fine. The selection of tracks here is still very good. The problem is, they don't really hold a candle to the track design that this game has to offer, thanks to this game's free vehicle forms, and having those free vehicle forms allows even more creativity for said track design. Even though this cup is last, it's still a very good one. Starting off at Samba de Janeiro with the weird Amigo head partying in the void.
My people called it the void, the Eternals call it the howling, but some people call it hell.
But you're practically racing around an entire party, and that's just great. We then have my personal favourite track of the cup, heading downtown with Jet Set Radio, avoiding all the slow ass traffic, jumping through construction. It's a very high paced racetrack, and the music is just the icing of the cake. We then head off to Casino Park. I am sick of this track. I don't know how it's done it, but it has somehow got into all 3 of the Sonic racing games. It's a good track, but how many times do we need to see this? But we end things off with a banger, the Egg Hanger. Very tight turns, which will greatly kick you in the ass if you picked a vehicle setup with bad handling, robots walking along the corridors. It's all very, very good stuff. I'm going to end this off with a warning to all of you though. The CPU in this cup is cracked. Like in most cases in the other cups, I would say it's pretty easy to get a decent lead going, even on hard difficulty. This one, I was literally fighting for my life to keep first place. I felt like Lewis Hamilton before Verstappen came behind.
Bye bye, bitch.
Yeah, overall, very, very good stuff here. Coming last by default, because it just doesn't have the creative track design as the other 4 coming our way. Alright, let's get properly started with this game then. The Dragon Cup. A very good opening for what this game has to offer, as this is the first cup you'll play. Starting off with Ocean View, and like Casino Park, I am sick of seeing this, especially since they completely butchered it in Team Sonic Racing, but here, it's a very solid track. Starting off with a couple circuits on the land, avoiding those iconic pillars from Sonic Heroes. The third lap is your introductory to the vehicle styles in this game. Driving on the water, avoiding this weird tentacle robot.
I can't wait to see what terrible things it does to you with its girthy, throbbing tentacles.
Ugh, keep your fetish away from me!
Cruising the ocean back on land to the finish. We then get a personal tour from Amigo at Samba Studios. Once again, another car and boat level. Racing up a spiral before being shot out into the lake. Man's got a damn pirate ship here.
I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy.
Back onto land towards the main area of Samba production. Finishing off by driving through orange juice? Then on to the perfect example of making simplicity god tier. The Carrier Zone. On paper, it basically is just a standard ring track. But again, this is the beauty of the vehicle types, because then you can add this creativity to the stage. So instead of it being a simple ring around the roses, it's now your introductory into the plane style. As you travel through this intense fight between the 2 carriers, land on the second one, half circling around it, deploying into your boat, and back into your plane to the other side of the battle. The music once again just making it 10 times more epic too. Finishing off with the Dragon Canyon, the track that was actually used for the intro of this game. It's full-on regular car racing for the first lap, travelling across bridges, into caves, and then halfway through the second lap is when things start to pick up a bit. You're back on the boats, travelling through the intense waves and dangerous rocks coming at you. You're back on land for the third lap, but not full on, because would you look at that, the whole road is gone. You got no choice but to go into the air, avoiding these weird... What the hell are these?
My Sega knowledge as a whole is incredibly basic, isn't it?
Yeah, basically flying through the canyon to end off a very well done cup. A very enjoyable cup. And yet it's only number 4. That should show just how awesome the track design of this game is and just how awesome this game is in general, man. Why have you not picked this game up yet? We've only gone through 2 cups and I'm already asking why you haven't picked this game up. Number 3, the Emerald Cup. Starting off with probably the wackiest track in the game, the Dream Valley. For starters, it's a plain boat track only, travelling through the lustrous greens of the dream world. And in the middle of every lap, you get thrust into a completely different scenario. Weird creatures flying towards you, giant demigods throwing boulders at you, all of it cultivating with quite the intense boat segments, travelling along the current before you can get back into your plane, back into the skies of the dream world. Following this, we have the Chilly Castle, probably one of the more forgettable tracks in the game, but still good nonetheless. It's just got so much charm to it, from the kid-friendly music of Billy Hatcher, the whole Christmassy vibe it has, and then travelling through this glacier cavern towards the end of the race. There's not really anything that changes in this one. That doesn't mean it's a bad track at all. No, there are no bad tracks in this game, trust me. Because Graffiti City, which is the next track in this cup, is probably considered the worst track in this game, and yet I still love it. Listen to this intro. And when I say worst track in the game, I mean it's probably the most difficult. It's a very tight race. Not too many places for boost tricks here. It's just got so much charm to it, man. Like Dragon Canyon, the road practically disintegrates at the final lap, and you're getting chased by all these weird helicopters towards the finish.
Stop your car now! This is the LSPD!
And then ending things off with Sanctuary Falls, man. Oh, this music! Taking to the skies in the first lap, back on land in the second, as the sanctuary begins to crumble on itself, and just like that you're back into the sky. So much good stuff here, man. So I guess I should probably try and explain why the Emerald Cup is only number 3 here. Well, even though I'm not too phased by the difficulty of Graffiti City, I definitely don't come back and play for the track. I mostly come back and play for the radio music. Like I said, Chilly Castle is kind of a forgettable track in itself. All that combined, the best this could do would be the bronze medal. 3rd place. Number 2, the Rogue Cup. Hey, who doesn't like a bit of Super Monkey Ball? It's a stage that doesn't change its layout throughout the race, but more of these pillars end up cropping up, almost as if the stage is trying to make things more exciting, trying to cause as many collisions as possible to give us a 5-way tie for 1st place. Travelling through the iconic checkered boards of Super Monkey Ball, converting into your boat down a stream, and into this cool looking cave, through a portal back to the finish. We then have the Galactic Parade. Bro, there is so much going on here. You've got that awesome disappearing road from Sonic Colors, drones shooting lasers at you, flying through the vast of space itself, through meteors and boulders. Then out of nowhere, you got ships crashing into each other in the 3rd lap, adding further tension as the drones are once again back to stop you from finishing in 1st. Then we have seasonal shrines. My god, what a track. Another track that doesn't change at all. This one doesn't need that. Nah. This is a challenge road. It's already perfect as it is. Tight roads as you venture up the historical looking mountains, through dangerous caves, across beautiful looking bridges. The atmosphere of this track alone is god tier. Then finishing off with Rogue's Landing. Oh my god. So here's a story for you all. Apparently the creator of Skies of Arcadia, which is what this track is based off, was put into tears when seeing this track and its music in all of its glory. It is an amazing time. Travelling through the Sky Village, back in your plane to travel through said skies, before heading into a stream with your boats. And just like that, it seems we've got a bit of a cliche here. We've got quite a lot of tracks that seem to just destroy itself over time. To be fair, there is a massive battle going on in the skies here, much like back with the Carriers and Carrier Zone. So the battle is tearing the track apart, to the point where by the time you make it to the 3rd lap, there is no track to race on. It is just plain for the rest of the race, avoiding all these giant bombs that have appeared out of nowhere as well. Oh, this cup is so good, man! How is this thing not number 1? Well, brother, the Classic Cup. It may be the final cup in the game, but as we've already touched upon, it was a reward cup for getting past the other 4 cups in the game. The Classic Cup may be the finale, but the Arcade Cup is the finale. Starting off with a House of the Dead track. Oh, you know we mean business here. The Graveyard Gig, travelling through the iconic Curian Mansion, avoiding the zombies. This weird bat-like creature on the rooftop, travelling through the toxic waste. through these dangerous looking labs that shoot lightning at you, before the final lab takes a weird turn. Instead of the stage literally crumbling to dust before your very eyes, you just go down the cellar. But what the hell is this?
I've never been to one of these clubs before.
Whoa!
Then you've got Ada's Lair, the Bowser's castle of this game, speeding across the lava in your boat. Once again, the stage is destroying itself. Okay, maybe it is a cliche, but seeing it all happen around you, that's just awesome. We can let this slide, surely. Travelling through the jaws of Ada into the dastardly corridors of his lair, back onto the lava front. If Graffiti City isn't the most difficult track in the game, it probably is going to be this one. Then you've got the Burning Depths. I've changed my mind. If it wasn't for this incredibly OP shortcut in the middle of the race, I'd probably say this is the most difficult track in the game because of its linear walls, its linear spirals. It's definitely one of the hardest tracks outside of the Classic Cup to get a first place on. But the intensity of the bass just catching on fire around you as the water rises up, it feels like a full-on adventure here. It feels like I'm a burning ranger. Before ending things off with the beautiful Race of Ages, this game's Rainbow Road. Travelling through the orange road and avoiding all the gaps in the process, you then have a very simple option towards you: plane or boat, both giving you two completely different routes. Go by plane, you take to the skies, avoiding all these weird red electric walls and these painful looking spiral traps. You go by boat, you're in an intense stream, avoiding these electric gates, jumping off these ramps. It can get pretty intense. 80% of the time I usually tend to take the boat route just for the intensity, but this is a finale and a half. This is literally a love letter to Sega's history. So many different cool Easter eggs throughout the stage, which you've just got to find for yourself. I'm not going to take that experience away from you. A very well-deserved #1 here. The content this game provides, from a cup standpoint, may be much shorter compared to the likes of Mario Kart, but hey, quality over quantity. This game has so much quality in it. But yeah, we're at the end of the video now, so I can say properly, why have you not played this game yet?